I'm sorry about the noises that might be on the background because I'm filming and my neighbor is still renovating. So yes. But anyway, welcome back to another episode of how to make a JSK. So this is a I don't know how many part long series of videos about how to basically make a JSK out of a scratch. I'm showing different kinds of techniques on like construction, and I'm also taking in suggestions if you have something that you've been thinking about, like how does something, like how is something made. I can probably help out with that. But today's video is about pattern drafting, and oftentimes, like, I have previously done a two-part video about like how to make a JSK, and I think like the biggest problem people encounter is where do I find the pattern for that? And that's why I decided to do this video. So basically you just take measurements and draw a pattern based on your measurements, and this is only a half a pattern. The next video that I will post is going to be how to make a shirring. So shirring is basically the back side of the of the dress. But yeah, let's get right into pattern drafting.
Hey darlings, so let's start off with measurement. So you need your waist measurement. So your waist is the narrowest part of your body, slightly above your belly button, and just measure the circumference of your waist and then move up to your bust and try to like position the measuring tape as vertically or as horizontally as possible. I had a little like curve on the measuring tape there, but please try to like make it as straight as possible. Then we're gonna measure the top edge. So basically it is the measurement kinda that would be where your JSK would kind of like end, or like the top edge of the JSK would come. And take that measure and write it down. And then you need to measure your breast distance or your bust distance. So basically, the highest point of your bust, the distance between your two breasts. From that measurement down to the waist, you get your bust height and take it along the curve of your body. Don't hold the measuring tape straight, but curve it underneath your breast and then down to the waist. The same goes from the front height, so from the top edge downwards to your waist, measure the front height. And again along the curve of your body like this. From the top edge, you also need to measure the side height. So basically it is the height of your bodice on the side seam, and from the top edge downwards down to your waist, again the measure of which will be the side height. Measuring things yourself might be a bit difficult, but if you have a friend or a partner who can do it for you, please ask for help too. That's perfectly fine. Here are the measurements. So bust, waist, and top edge need to be divided by 4, and the breast distance or bust distance needs to be divided by 2. But all the height measurements will be used as they are. There will be a little bit of math that we need to do later on, but let's start drawing. So basically you need to draw a vertical line and horizontal line like I have drawn here. So the vertical line will be the side and horizontal line will be the waist. And then measure your bust height from the waist up and like draw another horizontal line. measure the bust measurement, so the divided bust measurement, so which was, for me, it was 24. Then on the bust line, after you've drawn it, take the bust distance, the measurement that is divided by 2, and draw it onto the bust line, and also on the waistline, and draw a vertical line. Then you need to subtract the waist measurement from the bust measurement, and the leftover, for me, in my case, it's 4 centimeters. So 4 centimeters I need to subtract from the waist. So I took off 2 centimeters from the side and 2 centimeters from the waist, or from the front side, kinda. So those will be kind of like the darts that I will be having on my bodice to like accommodate for the curve of the body. Basically, when you draw the subtractions, I took 2 centimeters from the side and 2 centimeters on the like side front panel, or like between the front panel and the side front panel here. So I have like 1 centimeter and 1 centimeter on each side. I drew upwards on the left side of the dart and drew it like over the bust line here. Then take the front height and draw a little horizontal line. Then you take the side height, measuring from the subtraction point from the waistline upwards. You measure the side height measurement, and it will go a little bit past the bust line, like 1 or 2 centimeters max. And then the last thing to do is to take the top edge measurement and measure the top edge of the front panel, which is, for me, 8.5 centimeters. So I have leftover of 14 centimeters. So the 14 centimeters, I will start measuring from the side seam. I will make a curved edge, kinda like this, and measure 14 centimeters, or whatever your measurement is, upwards towards the front panel. And pay attention, or like make sure that on the side seam and the like arm curve, there is like 90-degree angle, and then just connect the bust line and the curve that you just drew together, and do a little bit of curving here, because you also need to have 90-degree angle on the curve here. So just making a little bit of like curvature onto the arm, like side area here. And that's basically how you do the pattern. Also on the bust, you can like soften the curve a little bit so that your like breast is not very angular. So that's why the curves also need to be a bit softer. But here is how the pattern will look, and it is very important to do a mock-up of the pattern to just try out that it's okay, because like when you're drawing things by hand, there might be some weird things going on and all that. So please make a mock-up before you cut into your actual fabric. And so yeah, basically the front panel, so the left hand side piece is the front panel. It needs to be cut on fold, so on the edge of the fabric that is folded in two, and then bust or the side panel, front side panel is gonna be like cut two of them, of course. And here is a drawing of the patterns that you need to cut out or trace onto a pattern paper and then cut out. When you draw a pattern like this, you shouldn't cut the actual drawing of the pattern, but trace it onto a silk paper or baking paper or something like translucent paper that you can use when you sew.
Hi, welcome back. So basically, the pattern that you now have is the front of your bodice. So this is like the hardest part of the bodice. So basically you have the front panel that is cut on the fold kinda. So this is the center front. It should be on cut on like on fabric on fold kinda. And then this is like cut on next to it. So basically this is the front side panel. And from here you continue into the shirring, and shirring will be the next video that I will show you how to do. There is a couple things that like you need to consider, but it's actually very easy after you have learned how to do it, and it's very kind of like straightforward thing to do kinda. But anyway, one thing that I didn't mention on the video is, or like on the instructions when I drew it, draw a little like notch on the pattern, like on the bust line kinda, so that you know, like when you're cutting fabrics, you cut a tiny little like zip on the like edge of the fabric, and when you're sewing, just align the little notches together so that you get like the best possible kind of like shape for your for your dress, so that like your pieces are aligned properly, so that they're not like kind of like wonky. But yeah, this is like what you should have now, and next up we will talk about making shirring and yeah. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions about the pattern drafting. I know it can be a bit like confusing when you're first time doing it, but just try to think logically about like how the measurements and all that kind of like go into the paper, and that should probably hopefully make a bit more sense. But if you have any trouble, let me know in the comments and I will try my best to help you out. And thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye!